Now, a lot of times, YouTubers, even the news, takes a small event and sensationalizes it so much that it really affects people that are kind of trying to figure out where to go. They want to go to a country, let's say in Southeast Asia, on their vacation. But do they go to Thailand? Do they go to Vietnam? Do they go to Laos, Cambodia? Um, but so many people will take a small event and turn it into this monumental thing. But the truth is, does it affect you as a tourist? Whatever this little event is, or this disaster that they're sensationalizing to get you to click on their website. Everyone talks about the taxis in Thailand and they charge ridiculous prices. That doesn't affect me. I know that that's a problem. I'm an intelligent person. I use Bolt. They give you an upfront price. You order the kind of service you want, from motorcycle to normal car to a luxury car or van, and they give you a price for where you're going. You pay them when you get there. It's real simple. There are ways around any of these problems. If you're worried about the guy that got his gold jewelry stolen walking down Beach Road, then I would suggest you don't drink excessively really early in the morning or late at night, whichever you want to say, and walk anywhere in any city. I don't care if it's in America or Europe or Thailand or Cambodia or wherever. It's inviting people. When someone sees you're intoxicated, you're walking down the street late at night, and there's not a lot of other people on the street. It kind of is an invitation for them to take your stuff. Okay, it's not exactly Thailand's problem or the people that run Thailand or the police for that matter. It's having common sense. See a lot of um, just misinformation on YouTube. You see a short and it has a very attractive young lady walking down the sidewalk, and you click on it, and it's two jughead guys doing like stunts on their bikes to try to get attention, and it has nothing to do with the lady walking down the street. See all kinds of headlines like, is tourism dead in Thailand? And it's so sensationalized to get people to click on. I the other day, this lady, she was a star in a sitcom back in the 70s, and it said so and so dies of AIDS or HIV. And it's like, oh my God, that's terrible. So I clicked on it because it was a show that I watched when I was a kid. And I watched this long old thing about here are all the people that starred in this show. Here's what they look like then. Here's what they look like now and their life story. And at the end, of course, they had the young lady that supposedly died of HIV, and she's still alive and kicking. And it's like, is there anything that's truth? How many things in business do we, the software and the things, the offers on the internet to where it says free? How often is free? It's never free. You see free and you go in and you have to give your credit card and sign up for a subscription to get a free 7-day trial because they know that you sign up for so many things you're going to forget it and it's just going to go on every month and pay them. So call me irritated, but it's true. Thailand is, I just came back the end of September. It was so much fun. There's so many things going on, so much fun to be had. I don't understand what people complain about. Fewer people coming to Thailand means I don't have to wait in a long line. I don't have to wait at a Starbucks until I finally get to I'm second to last. I'm ready to be served, and the guy has to haggle with the Starbucks girl because he thinks that Starbucks coffee is too expensive. And it's like, really? The prices are posted. Either pay it or move. Same thing, walking down Beach Road. It's a little irritating sometimes. You see a bot bus, you start walking a little fast, so you want to try to catch the bot bus, and there are 10 guys holding hands, circling one of the working girls, trying to haggle with her to get a better price while they all sing Kumbaya or something. And you got to, excuse me, and you try to get around this mass of people, things like that. And it's like, I guess I'm venting a little bit. But, with more people doesn't always come a better situation. There were, and I felt bad for some of the bars. They didn't have anyone in them. It's low season though, and tourism is off. Bad press in a lot of cases has not helped to where somebody from China, gets injured or attacked or something else, and all of a sudden every blogger and newspaper has to put how dangerous Thailand is, and it just everyone sensationalizes everything to get clicks, to get ratings, and it's like nothing can ever be more positive. It's like, hey, you can still have a great time for not a lot of money. And, people compare things that don't need comparing. You compare Thailand with Cambodia or Vietnam, and they're kind of in the same category, but they're kind of not. There's, if I had a choice between going to, price aside, not being cheap, but if I had a choice between going to Thailand, Cambodia, or Vietnam, I would pick Thailand. It's a better quality experience overall for everything, the food, um, the things that make a person from the West more comfortable, the quality of, anything from traveling to the red light districts. It's a better quality. Of course, it's going to cost a little more, but it's well worth paying, especially when it comes to tourism, because what people put, if you put tourism is dead, it's kind of like, if I was planning on coming, I hadn't been here before, it might change my mind about coming here. It's like, oh, there's a problem. You put there's high crime in a certain country, and it's not supported by the facts, it's just a perception because there happens to be an incident that took place that got a lot of press, and so people want to monopolize on that, so they put, oh yeah, it's unsafe, it's now a bad time to come to this country or that country, and everyone's monopolizing on every little sensational thing, and it makes things so just blown out of proportion. It's all relative, okay? Things change always, okay? Yes, the exchange rate for money, especially for some countries, has made it very, I won't say very difficult, more challenging. You have to be more. You're not the 7 day millionaire anymore. You have to be a little more conservative with your spending. But overall, Thailand is still a great place to come for the things that you come to Thailand for. It has beautiful islands, it has beautiful places to go, huge amount of culture, and the food is fantastic. If you like the red light district, I don't think there's anywhere in the world that compares to Pattaya and all of Thailand. The ladies are not only very pretty, but they also have a warmness to them and a humanness to them that you can't find in many other places. So, and this reminds me when I was getting ready to write this video or the script for it, my son and I were talking because he's the age, he's has a girlfriend. They're if things keep going for next year or whatever the way they are, they'll probably get married and have children. And they were talking about how expensive California was. California is where my sons stay, and if I'm not in Thailand, then I'm in California. And I just gotten back I took my motorcycle and I went to Monterey for a couple of days. And Monterey is a beautiful place in California. And it's so easy when people start complaining about, in California, same thing, a very expensive place to live compared with other places. That, if you want to live in the hills of Montana or in the bayou of whatever place in the south, you can get some pretty cheap places to live. But then again, you have to look at where you're living. Okay, you can find countries that are cheaper to go to than Thailand, obviously. But will they have the same quality of your stay? But you have to realize it is what it is. Just like I was telling my son about California. It's like, okay, it is. You can get places to live cheaper in the US than California. But, okay, this is the but that people forget about. What you're paying for. So many people live in California, making it a very expensive place, or more expensive place to live, because it's beautiful. Okay, I live in a place that it's not the most expensive place in the state to live. It's kind of in the middle, and I'm an hour away from the ocean or the beach. I can get there actually 45 minutes to an hour, depending on where I go. I can be in 2 hours. I can be to Yosemite National Park, which is one of the most beautiful natural areas in the world. I can be to San Francisco in 2 hours. I can be to Los Angeles in 2.5 hours. And there's so many things that California has that make it worth the premium that you pay to live here. At least when you look at apples to apples. Yes, if you want to live in the swamp, if you want to live in the mountains, you could live cheaper. Okay, but if you look at another city that has as much, I told him, I said, compare, living in where we live to Denver, Colorado. And I gave him the names of other uh, cities that have a beautiful, some place in Oregon or Washington, beautiful places to live. Okay, that would equal or be close to living in California. And he did a check, and it wasn't that much difference in the cost of living in California and those places that would be comparable to living in California. It's going through, like every country does, it's trying to attract more tourism because that's where they get a lot of their money as a country. And they're learning because it's not so important um, to get just bodies. It's easy to go for spending money to attract bodies, but they have to be bodies that spend money. And when you start trying to attract just everyone, there are a lot of people that come on tours and get packages that are very inexpensive that lure them in, and they don't spend hardly any extra money at all in the country other than that package tour, and whatever food doesn't come with the package tour. And even that is always the budget, the most economical food they can buy. There are, a lot of, and I think Thailand's learned that lesson. There are a lot of cultures to where frugality, they would want to turn it into an Olympic sport if they could, because it's almost a pride thing to where if you're great at haggling prices down, you pay the lowest price of anyone and you're the winner. But there are cultures and people that would come to Thailand, and if there weren't rules, they would stack up 10 people in a hotel room to save on money. And there's a lot of that. And so it's not the number of people has dropped in Thailand, but the quality of, I don't want to say quality because that makes it sound like the people that don't spend money are inferior. But from a tourism aspect, the amount of money, the bigger spenders, the people that will make it worthwhile for them coming to the country, they keep bars in business and other businesses in business. It's like tourism isn't going anywhere in Thailand. The bars aren't going to close down. The girls aren't going to leave. The islands aren't going to close down. It's all going to be there, even when your kids are your age. So everything changes. And just like I said about California, yes, it's going through a time where a lot of people are thinking of moving. But yeah, so be it. Less people here, better deals on houses then. There's always a plus for a minus. So if Thailand, as it's going through its kind of growing pains, if there are less people that go to Thailand, guess what? You get faster service. You go into a bar, and instead of being like in high season when it's really busy and it's standing room only, you get a seat at the bar. You get two girls that'll come up to you and talk to you while you're having your drink instead of no one, because they're all with other people.